get down, and they just threw it over the top for easy baskets. Too many.
Well, we'll go to Nate right now, who's at the podium.
Stopping that run, Middleton got hot and, made some tough shots. We had open looks in that fourth quarter and, just didn't knock down those shots. Really they did what you need to do to win. When we got a rhythm and got a little momentum going, they was able to respond with some big baskets and big stops.
Ben Golliver. Coach, what was your view of Trae's injury? And then did you feel like that throughout your offensive rhythm? I think down the stretch it was something like you guys had like 3 baskets in the final 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he tweaked his ankle, and of course, we had to go with some other options. And but again, I thought we got some open looks in the fourth quarter. Didn't knock down those shots. They did a good job of making us pay when we didn't get a basket in that fourth quarter. Middleton seemed like he was hitting everything. Giannis did a good job of keeping that momentum for those guys. And then when they miss, they got a couple offensive rebounds that were big.
Did you feel like he was moving normally after the injury, or was he hesitant at all?
No, he was a little sore.
Tim?
Nate, obviously you've been around a long time. You see guys get going like Chris did in that fourth quarter. Is there anything you could look back on it thinking that you would have liked to have tried to do differently, or is that just one of those situations where a guy that gets going, it almost doesn't matter?
Well, a guy's hot like that, you would like to hit what we call hit, basically run a guy at him. And, I thought we were trying to do that 1 or 2 times, and before we could even get a guy on him, he had released it. So he was really scoring from everywhere, from the perimeter and the post, off the dribble. But you would like to get the ball out of his hands in situations like that.
And I talked to you before the game about the size they have and the ability they have to attack. It seemed like for most of the game, at least, if not even really other than Chris was going crazy late, it seemed like you guys were able to do a decent job of slowing them down. You were all happy with what you guys did?
Yeah, I thought the big thing for us was to get off to a good start. And I thought the first quarter we were able to do that and, really try to keep this team in front. They were still attacking. It's really a 3-headed monster over there with Antetokounmpo and Middleton as well as Drew. All of those guys are excellent isolation players. They do a good job of spacing the floor. And if you are committing to the ball, then they will be more than happy to shoot the 3 ball. So, it puts really challenges your defense to try to cover them one-on-one and make them shoot tough shots. But they're capable of making those shots.
Chris Kirschner?
Going back to Trae for a second, was there any considerations of moving with his ankle obviously sore like you said?
When he came back to the bench, I was told that he was available. And, once he got out there, I saw that he wasn't moving well. When I took him out the last few seconds, he couldn't go back. I was basically looking to rotate him offense, defense, and he couldn't go back. But when he came back to the bench, Chris, basically, I was told that he was available. He could go again.
And then there was a stretch where John sat 14 minutes after making his 4th foul. Was there anything you need to bring back earlier?
No, I mean, he had 4 fouls, and early in that third quarter, Gallo did a good job of filling in. We was trying to buy as much time as we could. And I thought O did a real nice job to start that fourth quarter, but we was just trying to buy as much time as we could.
Back to Tim.
Just following up on Trae quick, when you said you couldn't come back in at the end there, is there any concern about him going forward, do you think, or is that just because?
I don't know right now. I think when he returned to the floor, he was obviously limping on that, and when I subbed him, we decided to just keep him out.
We'll go to Zoom now, and we will begin with Steve Hummer.
Yeah, Nate, for 3 quarters there, how did you see Trae, how he responded to game 2, and did you really feel that he was on the verge of finishing out a special kind of game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was, doing a good job. He was scoring for us. I thought he was he came out aggressive and was able to, see the ball go in the basket tonight early. And I thought that gave us a spark. He was his old self, just being really aggressive, attacking in the pick and roll. When they gave him space, he was able to, knock down a couple of threes. But I liked the fact that he was aggressive and he was trying to establish that tempo that we wanted to play at.
Jeff Schultz.
Yeah, Nate, following up Steve's question, did you two have a conversation at all after the last game? Did he articulate to you about how determined he was to sort of try to make amends for the last game?
No, Jeff, I didn't talk with him. I think, this is really a growth period for Trae. And, I don't think you just go to him every time he has a game. He needs to figure it out himself. He put the game on himself, our last loss. And, my thought was that with that was to just leave him alone. Talk about the things that the defense was doing, the adjustments that they made, point those out. But, this is a time for him to figure out what he needs to do. And he knew that he needed to be aggressive. He had a bad game, and players have that. So I don't just run to him every time, he has a bad outing. I thought this was time for him to just figure it out. And I thought he did. He came out very aggressive and was able to really establish that first quarter for us.
Just a couple more. We'll go to McLean Baxley from the AJC.
You talked about a little bit earlier, getting John Collins on the bench, with those fouls, but, Danilo and Gallinari coming in with 18 points, and, how crucial was his play and off the bench and just keeping pace with what Milwaukee was trying to do?
Well, he gave us a big lift. They are doing a lot of switching out there, and they're giving us matchups on the post with John and Gallo, and those guys have been able to win their matchups, down there. So, I think we need to, be a little bit more patient and go to those matchups a little more, and Gallo and John have shown that they can score against those matchups. Gallo, we needed him a lot sooner tonight with John getting in foul trouble. He's been doing this for us all season long, just bringing that scoring punch off the bench.
Okay, the final question from Zoom will come from Davide.
Hey, Coach, obviously in the fourth quarter, you had to change a little bit about your offensive style. What did you like there and what you didn't?
In what quarter?
The final quarter, obviously, with Trae injured.
Well, again, I thought of course, their defense picked up, and I thought we was able to get some open looks, with some of our best shooters shooting the ball. And we just, the ball didn't fall for us. Bogey had a couple open looks. Trae had an open look, going down the stretch, and just wasn't able to, get the ball to go down for us. Scoring 17 points in that fourth quarter really was the difference.
The final question will come from inside the room and Chris Kirshner.
Nate, I understand that Bogey is hurt, but what have you thought of how he's played in these 3 games so far?
Well, he's getting better, so, tonight he ended up playing 35 minutes, so health-wise, he's getting better. His shot just has not fallen for him, but, he's a guy who, I believe that next shot is going down. And, he has some wide open looks that, I'm willing to trust that he's going to knock those shots down. It's just not falling for him. It hasn't fallen for him this series, but health-wise, he's actually getting better.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
That was Nate McMillan. Now to Coach Bud.